The Pentagon just released test results that shocked the defense world. The F-15EX Eagle II, a fighter based on a 1970s design, proved operationally effective against fifth-generation threats. It detected and tracked every target, identified them all, delivered weapons, and survived. Here's what they tested and why the results are massive. The official verdict landed like a thunderclap across defense circles. In its 2024 annual report, the Pentagon's Director of Operational Test and Evaluation delivered a statement few expected. Against the level of threat tested, the F-15EX is operationally effective in all its air superiority roles. This wasn't a carefully hedged assessment or a polite nod to legacy hardware. It was a direct endorsement, backed by live fly missions orchestrated by the Air Force Operational Test Center and overseen at Eglin Air Force Base. The F-15EX faced off against a mix of fourth and fifth generation threat surrogates, jets with the speed, sensors, and tactics meant to mimic America's most advanced adversaries. Yet in every scenario, the Eagle II detected and tracked all threats at advantageous ranges, identified them using both its own sensors and networked data, delivered its weapons, and survived the fight. The message from the Pentagon's test pilots and evaluators was clear. This so-called relic is anything but obsolete. The F-15EX met or exceeded expectations set for modern air superiority, not just holding its own, but proving it can dominate in the roles that matter most. The secret to the F-15X's leap ahead isn't a new wing or a stealthy skin. It's a computer, tucked deep inside the jet, a digital brain built by Boeing that changed everything about how the Eagle II fights. The Advanced Display Core Processor 2, or ADCP-2, runs a staggering 87 billion operations per second. That's not just a big number for a military jet. It's the kind of processing power more often found in high-end data centers, now flying at Mach 2.5, thousands of feet above the Earth. This processor takes raw data from the jet's AN/APG-82 AESA radar, its infrared search and track system, and the EPA-WSS electronic warfare suite, then fuses it all in real time. Threats don't just appear as blips. They're identified, classified, and prioritized, giving the pilot a single, clear, tactical picture. According to Boeing's lead systems architect, this architecture allows the F-15EX to outthink even some fifth-generation fighters. Instead of relying on stealth, the Eagle II fights smarter, finding and tracking enemies before being seen itself. This digital edge is the foundation for the jet's unmatched missile capacity and its ability to dominate in the most complex air battles. 12 missiles, ready to fire. That's what the Eglin test crew proved in November 2022, when the F-15EX carried a full dozen air-to-air missiles, more than any fighter in the U.S. arsenal. The jet's new wingtip stations, labeled 1 and 9, were loaded with AIM-9X sidewinders, while the main pylons bristled with AIM-120 AMRAAMs. During live-fire exercises, Eglin pilots launched missiles at drone targets from beyond visual range, confirming not just carriage but combat effectiveness. High-speed cameras and telemetry tracked each shot, leaving no doubt. The Eagle II can shoot farther and hit harder than any rival in the fleet. This isn't just a numbers game. The F-22 tops out at 8 missiles, the F-35 at 6. The F-15EX's magazine depth means it can overwhelm enemy formations, defend high-value assets, or clear a path for stealth jets running low on ammo. And the future holds even more. Boeing's Amber Rack concept, now in development, could push the loadout to 22 missiles, turning the Eagle II into a flying arsenal. For U.S. pilots, that kind of firepower isn't theoretical. It's a reality tested over the Gulf, proven by the very crews who will take it into combat. EPA-WSS, the Eagle Passive Active Warning Survivability System, stands at the heart of the F-15EX's survivability revolution. In April 2024, the system completed initial operational test and evaluation, with the Pentagon's test teams pushing its limits across 70 live sorties in the Northern Edge exercise. EPA-WSS doesn't just warn the pilot about incoming threats, it thinks for itself. Its cognitive electronic warfare core uses artificial intelligence to analyze, classify, and jam new enemy radars and missiles in real time. The system adapts on the fly, countering unknown threats that older jets would never even detect. According to BAE Systems, this leap in autonomy is what allows the F-15EX to survive in the thick of modern air battles. Even when adversaries deploy advanced electronic attacks, the Air Force's confidence was sealed in January 2025 with $615 million contract for full-rate production. For the engineers behind EPWSS, these results confirm that the Eagle 2's digital shield is ready for the front lines. Mach 2.5, no other American fighter in service comes close. The F-15EX Eagle 2 doesn't just keep pace with the latest threats, it leaves them in its wake. Twin engines deliver more than 58,000 pounds of thrust, pushing the jet past 1,650 miles per hour at altitude. That speed isn't just for show. It means the Eagle 2 can sprint into the fight, outpace incoming missiles, and reposition faster than anything else in the Air Force inventory. But raw velocity is only half the story. With a maximum payload of 29,500 pounds, nearly 4 times what the F-35 can haul. The F-15EX can carry a dozen air-to-air missiles, hypersonic weapons, or heavy strike loads, all in a single sortie. Its combat radius stretches beyond 1,000 miles with external tanks, giving commanders a reach and endurance that stealth fighters can't match. In a world where range, speed, and payload still matter, the Eagle 2 stands alone. A reminder that brute force, when paired with smart systems, is a weapon all its own. No other fighter in the world carries a reputation quite like the Eagle. The F-15 family's record, 104 air-to-air victories with 0 losses, stands untouched, a tally built across decades and 3 continents. From the jet's first combat in 1979 over Lebanon, through the skies of Desert Storm, and into the hands of US, Israeli, and Saudi pilots, the Eagle's reputation grew with every engagement. Veteran pilots speak of a machine that never let them down, a jet that could take punishment and bring them home. The secret isn't just in speed or firepower, but in the airframe itself, engineered from the start for a 20,000-hour lifespan. That kind of durability means today's Eagle 2 or den skill wasam on this Eagle 2 inherits more than a name. It carries forward a legacy of reliability and dominance. For every pilot who ever trusted their life to the F-15, the new X is a promise kept. The legend endures, now sharper than ever. July 2025 brought a new chapter in the Eagle's story. 2 F-15EX jets from the 85th Test and Evaluation Squadron touched down at Kadena Air Base, Okinawa, the first step toward a planned 36 aircraft rotation that will eventually replace the aging F-15CD fleet in the Pacific. This wasn't a symbolic flyby. It was a concrete move, placing America's most heavily armed fighter squarely on the front lines of the Indo-Pacific. The presence of United States crews working alongside Japan Air Self-Defense Force liaisons sent a clear message. The Eagle 2 is here not only to defend American interests, but to stand shoulder to shoulder with allies facing rising regional threats. For commanders in the Pacific, the arrival of the F-15EX means more than a new jet on the ramp. It signals a commitment to forward deterrence, real firepower, ready to launch, exactly where it counts most. Budget planners didn't just take notice, they put real money on the table. The Air Force's fiscal year 2026 budget locks in an expanded order for 129 F-15EX jets, up from the original 98. Each one comes in at about $95 million, a price tag that stands out in an era when cutting-edge fighters often break the $100 million mark. This decision isn't about nostalgia, it's a calculated move to deliver mass. Actual numbers of combat-ready aircraft that can be deployed where they're needed most. Bases from Portland to Fresno, New Orleans, and Michigan will see new Eagles on their ramps, with plans for a major presence in the Pacific. In a world where stealth jets are built in small batches, the F-15EX offers something different. Scale, reliability, and the ability to fill the sky with American firepower. That's the kind of commitment you can count, and count on. China's J-20 stealth fighters are rolling off the line at a pace that keeps US planners awake at night. Yet the Air Force is betting on something different: mass and magazine depth. In the words of a senior Boeing engineer, the F-15EX wasn't built to vanish, it was built to control the fight. With its APG-82 radar upgraded for low observable targets and an open architecture cockpit, the Eagle 2 becomes more than a missile truck. It's the command hub for tomorrow's battle space. The two-seat design isn't just tradition. One pilot can fly while the other manages a swarm of drone wingmen, collaborative combat aircraft, directing strikes, jamming, and reconnaissance in real time. This approach flips the script. Instead of a handful of stealth jets, commanders can launch waves of heavily armed Eagles, each orchestrating unmanned assets and overwhelming threats with sheer firepower. As adversaries multiply their stealth fleets, the US answer is clarity, speed, and numbers. Where the F-15EX stands at the center, quarterbacking the fight. Sometimes the best technology isn't invisible, it's overwhelming. Right now, the Pentagon's own 2024 report proves it. American air power isn't just about stealth, it's about dominance, depth, and adaptability. The F-15EX stands ready, magazine loaded, for the threats of this decade. Sometimes the best technology isn't invisible, it's overwhelming. Let me know your take in the comments.